Hello everyone, and welcome back to our English listening practice. Today, we are going to explore a very important topic, sources of water on Earth. This listening is designed for shadowing practice. As you listen, try to repeat after me, with the same rhythm, speed, and intonation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Water is one of the most valuable resources on our planet. It covers about 70% of the Earth's surface. But do you know where all this water actually comes from? Let's explore together. 1. Oceans. First, let's talk about the oceans. Oceans are the largest source of water on Earth. In fact, about 97% of all the water on Earth is in the oceans. That sounds like a lot, right? But here's the problem. Ocean water is salty. We cannot drink it directly, and we cannot use it easily for farming. Still, oceans play a very important role. They control the Earth's climate. They produce oxygen through tiny plants called phytoplankton. And of course, they are home to millions of species of animals and plants. Think about this. When you go to the beach, you see waves, you feel the sea breeze, and you enjoy the sunshine. But in reality, the ocean is not only for fun. It is the heartbeat of our planet, keeping temperatures stable and life in balance. 2. Freshwater and rivers. Next, let's look at freshwater. Freshwater makes up only about 3% of all the water on Earth. That's not much. And even more surprising, only about 1% of that freshwater is easy for humans to access. The rest is locked away in glaciers, ice caps, and underground. One major source of fresh water is rivers and lakes. Rivers flow across the land, carrying water from mountains to seas. They provide drinking water, water for agriculture, and even electricity through dams. Lakes also store fresh water and create habitats for fish, birds, and plants. Imagine a farmer watering his crops. That water probably came from a river or a lake. Imagine a child drinking a glass of water at school. Most likely, that water was collected from a local reservoir connected to a river. 3. Groundwater. Another important source is groundwater. Groundwater is water that is stored under the Earth's surface. It fills the small spaces between rocks and soil. Many towns and cities pump groundwater up through wells. In some areas, groundwater is the main source of drinking water. But there's a challenge. If we use too much groundwater, the level goes down. It becomes harder and harder to find clean water. In some parts of the world, wells are drying up because people use groundwater faster than nature can replace it. 4. Glaciers and ice caps. Now let's not forget glaciers and ice caps. Most of the world's freshwater is frozen in Antarctica and Greenland. These giant ice sheets store a huge amount of water. When they melt, they release water into the oceans. But if they melt too quickly, sea levels rise, and this can cause floods in coastal areas. Scientists are very concerned about this today. Because of global warming, glaciers are melting faster than ever before. This not only changes the level of the oceans, but also affects millions of people who depend on melting ice for their water supply. 5. The water cycle. Finally, we have rain and the water cycle. The water on Earth is constantly moving in a cycle. The sun heats the oceans, rivers, and lakes. Water evaporates into the air. Then, it cools down and falls back to Earth as rain or snow. This endless cycle keeps our planet alive. Without it, we would have no fresh water at all. When you see clouds in the sky, remember, those clouds are made of tiny drops of water. One day, they might fall as rain in your garden or as snow on top of a mountain. The water cycle connects every part of life on Earth. 6. Why water matters. Now let's talk about why water is so important for life. For humans, water is essential for drinking, cooking, cleaning, and farming. Without water, no civilization could survive. For animals, rivers, lakes, and wetlands provide homes and drinking water. If water disappears, many species will also disappear. For plants, water is life itself. Plants absorb water through their roots, and they use it to grow. Without water, there would be no forests, no food, and no oxygen for us to breathe. Think about your daily life. When you take a shower, when you brush your teeth, when you drink coffee or tea, everything depends on water. It's so easy to forget how valuable it really is. 7. Global challenges. But here's the challenge. Not everyone has enough water. Even though our planet looks blue from space, only a small amount of water is fresh and clean. In some countries, people walk for hours every day just to collect a bucket of water. In big cities, water pollution is a serious problem. Factories, farms, and even households can pollute rivers and lakes with chemicals and waste. Climate change also makes things worse. Some places suffer from droughts, long periods with no rain. Other places experience floods, too much water at once. Both situations are dangerous for people and nature. 8. Protecting water sources. So what can we do? How can we protect the water sources on Earth? Here are some ideas. Save water in daily life. Turn off the tap when brushing your teeth. Take shorter showers. Avoid pollution. Do not throw trash or chemicals into rivers, lakes, or the ocean. Recycle and reuse water when possible. For example, use collected rainwater for gardening. Support clean water projects. Many organizations help bring clean water to communities in need. Plant more trees. Trees help keep rivers healthy and protect groundwater. Every small action counts. When each of us makes a small change, together we create a big impact. 9. Review. So let's review today's lesson. Water sources on Earth include oceans, rivers and lakes, groundwater, glaciers and ice caps, rain and the water cycle. Water is essential for humans, animals, and plants. But clean water is limited, and it is facing many challenges like pollution, overuse, and climate change. That is why protecting water is one of the most important responsibilities we have. All right, this is the end of today's extended listening. Now let's practice shadowing one more time. Replay this audio, listen carefully, and repeat after me with the same tone and rhythm. The more you practice, the more natural your English will sound. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.